Taking the chance, stuck in my head, not gonna leave it at that. Taking the lead, feeling your heat, just wanna give you my best. I don't even know your name, but you got me, 'cause you're on the die. We don't know what happens next, but you got me, 'cause I'm next in line. You make it look so easy, making me feel so dreamy. Never wanna pay for drinks, but you got me, 'cause you're on the die. Got me locked in now. Go ahead and take a shot. Do you really want me? Maybe you're just playing. The way you're making it move, yeah, you do it so smooth. Make it all about you. Can have it all if you want. Taking the chance, stuck in my head, not gonna leave it at that. Taking the lead, feeling your heat, just wanna give you my best. Taking the chance, stuck in. But what's standing in our way? He doesn't mind at all. He want my juice like that. He does whatever what he feels for nobody but himself. No, yeah. He doesn't mind at all. He want my juice like that. He does whatever what he feels for nobody but himself. No, yeah. So I pull myself together to not give myself the pressure. I don't know what to do with this. Should I let him go, go? I don't know what to do with this. Should I let him go, go? I fall for his eyes when he's staring into mine. Know he's bad for me. So what's standing in my way? And he's out of my league. I feel insecure, but I hope this is real, yeah. He doesn't mind at all. He want my juice like that. He does whatever what he feels for nobody but himself. No, yeah.
You know, you guys always catch me dancing. You know why? Because I really love the soundtrack. So tonight, I'm going to be honest with you. Ladies, you better get ready, because I think you're going to be shocked at what you're about to hear. So I know a lot of times as a woman, and I'm a woman, so I'm coming from both ends, we have this concept or perception when we meet someone that we're the prize. Well, now we're going to hear what the men have to say. Basically, their thought is, you are not the prize. Is you is, or is you ain't my baby. Let's get started. Well, folks, you already know. Let me go ahead and bring them in, because the men are the men. We got Cedric, we got Eric, we got Galen, we got RJ, we got Matt. Guys, all I got to say is this is probably like my favorite day of the week. Thursday, which is odd. Most people is Friday. Thursday's like one of my favorite days. You know why? Because I get to hang out with all my guys. I love you guys.
Wonderful.
It's good to be here.
It's good to be here, Chris. Good to hang out with you.
Oh, hanging out with me? See, thank you, Eric. See? Oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. Cedric, what is that about? Are you trying to say it's not cool to hang out with me? What's up?
I didn't say anything. So, I mean, you're paranoid. No, sister.
Are you trying to say I'm not a cool person to hang out with? I just hung out with Galen yesterday. And I'm going to tell you, Galen, you have the highest watched podcast on the network.
Oh, that's great. Didn't know that. Thank you for the people who watch. It's much appreciated.
And I'm going to tell you, your replay volume is ridiculous. Like within 24 hours, you go from 20 to 30 to like 140 people. And when I say people are rewatching it, I just look at your YouTube numbers. I don't go to all of the platforms. I just look at YouTube and I pull up the reports, and then I go to my Google Analytics and I look at all of them. But you do, because like when you teach, like Cedric said, Cedric was watching and he gave his comments yesterday. It's like people are really paying attention to what you're saying. So all I got to say, folks, if you're watching Thursdays, you need to watch Wednesdays too. You need to, because Wednesdays get you ready for Thursday. That's all I got to say. It's getting you ready for the rest of your life.
When we get together, we're sort of like the Avengers. It's a little bit different.
All right.
I like that.
Did you say it's like the Avengers?
Yeah.
I love that. It is like the Avengers. Well, ladies, let the Avengers get started, because we're going to talk about this, because I noticed a lot of ladies tuning in and they want to know, why are they not the prize? So the first question I'm going to ask you guys is, what is the first thing that pops in your head when you hear the woman say, I am the prize?
According to who?
That's the first thing that pops in your mind?
According to who? So if a woman says that, I'm like, so you your own prize? Because that's not what I think.
Right. What are the requirements?
So therefore, if a woman is saying I'm the prize, once again, how she sees herself is not necessarily how that man is going to see her.
Right.
Wow.
Perception is reality.
Yeah.
The prize is what's being pursued.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, we can all say, everybody feels that they're the prize, which is fine, right? Everybody is the prize. My mom used to say, every pot has a lid, right? So everybody is the prize, but if you in reality, the prize is what's being pursued. We know that there are more eligible women than there are eligible men, according to if you believe.
There's just more women in the world than men. That's
right.
Mhm.
And so because men control access to relationships and marriage, and that is what women ultimately want. So who are they who's being pursued?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're saying what most women think anyways. Women do think that you guys do control if the relationship progresses towards marriage. And that's what their biggest fear is, because of what you just said. There's always more women.
Well, the prize is the relationship. The prize isn't the man or the woman. The prize is the relationship. And so when I'm the prize, she off the bat, she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it at all. To be
Okay.
It makes her feel good at night, though. It makes her feel good.
My question is, because you guys are still in the thunder from my 5 other questions, is what is the first thing that pops in your mind? Cedric immediately responded. So Matt, when you hear a woman say that, what's the first thing that pops in your mind? What are you thinking?
Listen, I'm like the most even keel person ever, but as soon as I hear that, I go into a karate stance and I start. You are not nobody's prize. Listen, you haven't seen the competition out there. If you had, you would lead with a whole different kind of answer. You would not say, I haven't met a woman yet, single woman out there yet, who I think can say, I am the prize, if she really was honest about the competition. Look, y'all talk about the prize. All of y'all are a prize. So, how can a man pick when everybody's a prize? They all, everybody agrees.
Okay. So in your mind, you're like, it's too many women out there for you to be the prize. The selection. So RJ, do you feel the same way, or are you different?
I have to agree with my brothers, with my fellow Avengers on this one, because in whose mind are you the prize? It's in your mind that you feel that way, and you're not really projecting that to me to try to convince me that you are, without any validity behind it. So if we're out and you come up to me and say I'm the prize, okay, what does that mean? Why? Can you articulate to me what makes you the prize? To Matt's point, against these other 100 women in this venue that we have right now. Right? What's separate? What is the differential? You see what I'm saying? So that's where
obviously you got people buying in that you guys are the Avengers, because Anissa goes, the Avengers assemble. That's all I gotta say. Nisa, thank you so much for watching. Roz chimed in. She just gave a smiley face. And then she did a shout out to Matt. So Matt, I think your fan club is building. You got a little smiley face from Roz. Okay, so Galen, what is the first thing that pops in your mind when you hear a woman say, I am the prize?
I would say, what does that mean? That would be the first thing I would say. What does that mean? And the reason why I say that is I don't have a problem with anybody believing that they should have good self-esteem. I'm all for that. And I also have to recognize that value is determined not only by the market, but by the consumer. Okay. So when you just look, and I'm not saying, okay, a woman is a product per se.
Right.
What I am saying is we have to look at life and just start asking ourselves some basic questions. And one of the basic questions is, if I'm calling myself a prize, then that's my assessment of myself.
Right.
Okay. Now in the dating market, have your self-esteem, have your healthy self-image, and also recognize that doesn't make you better than someone else. It just means that you bring whatever you bring to the table, and some people will like it and some people don't. And don't get your mind wrapped up in ego boasting, because that's, to me, this is an ego boast. And
Okay.
instead, just try to be authentic, show up as an authentic human being, and maybe that might work instead of trying to tell somebody why you're the top gun over everybody else.
I'm gonna tell you, after y'all answers, I was looking for quick responses. We can end the show right now. It's 8:11. Y'all didn't answer all the questions, right? Ain't nothing else left. Y'all ladies, you already know y'all coming in like Top Gun. Okay,
Hey,
so
Chris.
quick question.
Hey.
Yeah.
Can I give like a quick example on something?
Well, you can, but it's probably going to answer my next question. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Stop answering my questions though.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So tonight, Roz says, I can't with them tonight. What's understood doesn't need to be explained. That's what Roz says. Roz also said, that's not a smiley face.
That's what I said.
guess she's saying she got her eye on y'all. That's what she's saying. Anita, thank you so much for joining us tonight. That is Sheila's aunt. So, hey, auntie. She said, I think the prize is showing confidence. That's what she said. The prize is showing confidence. And then she said, Cedric, she said, no, Cedric, no. You already know when it comes to Roz, what's going on. All right, so guys, I got a question for you. Based on what she said, is she saying that the prize is the confidence? So if you look at it through that lens, let me ask you the question again. When a woman says that she's the prize and she's illuminating confidence amongst these other 100 women, to RJ's point, RJ, now what's your response?
Still the same.
Still the same.
My response doesn't change. I mean, it's okay to be confident, but it's the approach in which you are coming on to me, right? You just randomly walk up to me and say I'm the prize, and just because you're confident in yourself, a lot of people are confident, unrightfully so. Let's just be honest. So.
Got you. I'm okay. I'm hearing what y'all saying. So, as a man, do you think a woman has certain expectations when that term is used or implied? Do you think, as a man, do you think a woman has certain expectations when that term is used or implied? And I'll start with you, Eric.
If she says she's the prize, then she's probably not. I mean, you just like, I'm not sure which one of your viewers actually said it. You know, what's already understood doesn't need to be stated.
Indeed.
You know, it's if you have confidence, you don't need to say you're the prize.
Okay.
It automatically exudes through your personality, through your aura, right? So you don't have to say anything. It just is what it is.
Are you guys agreeing with Eric?
Agree. Like they say, the loudest one in the room is always the weakest one. Right?
Yeah, but I also think that it speaks to conditioning that our culture has presented to men and women. Unfortunately, we've presented this perspective that people aren't whole beings by themselves. So sometimes the prize is I complete you. The prize is that, you know, who would you be without me? The prize is I don't have to work or give any effort toward a relationship, because the chase is about making me happy, not about creating something that complements each other and grows into something healthy and powerful. So I just think that sometimes the language we use in culture really speaks to the cultural conditioning behind it. So when people walk into a relationship or dating or whatever, and they're spewing terms like I'm the prize, it's because at times we allow people to put themselves up as on a pedestal, and that makes them think that they don't have to do work or afford any effort because them showing up is enough, because the prize in and of itself is enough.
Okay, well, guys, listen.
In real life, that's just not how things work.
I agree with you. It's not. And because Galen started to answer my third question, when he gets back, he's answered it. I'm going to start with the rest of you. And my question to you is going to be, when you think of the word prize, what does that mean to you as a man? We'll answer that question as soon as we get back from these commercials.
Get it that I'm never going back. Get it that I'm never going back. I get to it first, I got you mad. I guess that when I get to it last. Get it that I'm never going back. Get it that I'm never going back. Going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Get it that I'm never going up, going up.
You calling out to me, I got to hold ya. Baby, I'm not running around looking for nobody else. I've got one thing on my mind, I already hear the bells. I'm a victim of love, calling out to heaven above for ya. Every little word, I can't get you out of my mind. Oh baby, every curve's like a new adventure, pulling me into the center close.
Hey guys, welcome back, and I hope you watched the show on Monday, which is Shop Talk with Rodney Howell. We're going to talk about how gay and lesbian women can have platonic relationships with heterosexual people. Okay, so listen guys, real conversation, and this is like a first time. I just want to say, one of the ladies from Real Talk said for once she's, with y'all for once. That's all I gotta say. So Real Talk with the ladies, I'm gonna say shout out, okay, because that doesn't happen, folks. That's like a first time situation. All right, so to Galen's point, Galen was emphasizing the concept of the idea of a person being the prize. So as a man, when you think of the word prize, what does that mean to you? Period. What does it mean? So Cedric, what does it mean to you when somebody says, I'm the prize? What does that mean?
Well, before I forget my example,
okay. Example.
It's going to be applied to this answer as well.
Okay.
I used to own a 1968 280 SE Mercedes. Okay. It's a classic. It's a collectible. That car to me was everything. To somebody else, that's an old Benz, man. It ain't nothing. And then to a classic car collector, understood the value. So the point is, the prize is in the interpretation of the value that it means to that person. So all we can do is just show other folks our textures, our shades, and our colors, and whatever it means to them, that's what it is, not what we say it is. So the prize, regardless of what I say I am, what it means to you, that's what it is. Like Eric said earlier. Yeah.
Wow. So your response is the value that you align to that makes it the prize or not?
My point is, it's up the value and the definition of prize is up to that person, not ourselves. We can think we the prize. To that person, we ain't nothing.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Or we simple, or we ain't worth the effort to them.
Yeah.
But we think we are.
It's that individual's interpretation.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what?
And that's real, right? Because yeah, I mean that's it. That's mic drop. That's it.
You know what, Chris? Yeah. I got another example. I'm right in line with Cedric. I was recently one of Michael Jordan's jerseys sold for $10 million. Yeah. And I was sitting with a bunch of guys, and the guys were sitting there like, who would pay $10 million for a jersey? And I said, the value of a thing is not what you think it's worth. It's what the person who is willing to purchase it thinks it's worth. Right?
That's right.
Well, I just want to say, we can just it's 8:20. We can go on and sign off because, ladies, that's the whole point of what this conversation is about. It's the value of the prize is based on the person that is approaching you or sees you or wants you or desires you. You are not a prize to every man who sees you.
That's
so when
right.
you present that to them, in their mind, to RJ's point and Matt's point, even Galen, he didn't, Eric and Cedric, they all in agreement. It's 100 women in this space. And for you to say to me, I'm the prize out of these 100 women, how are you assessing that?
The challenge, Christine, is that most people don't say it.
Right.
They walk around with the belief. And that creates two basic problems, in my opinion.
Okay.
The first problem is you're going to bump up against some guy who's going to have the same mentality, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up with a rude awakening. That's one, because that can be flipped on you, to say the least. The second thing is you can go out into life without realizing that you have to earn what you desire in life, and bump into the hard realities of life at times where you can be, and I'm just going to use her as an example, you can be a woman that is as beautiful as Vanity was in the 1980s.
She was
And I mean, she was drop dead gorgeous.
She was it.
Yet Hollywood said, "Okay, we're done." The music, world said, "We're done." Modeling world, we're done.
Right.
And it wasn't like her looks changed.
Right.
Okay, but somebody has to decide you can jump the line because you're cute.
Right.
And somebody else can say, get back to the end of the line.
Right.
Okay,
so it's the value. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, Christine, the other thing is there is nothing wrong with somebody saying, I am the prize. But details matter. It's when you say I am the prize. So too many people, men and women, say I am the prize when they just met you. No, if you meet somebody, you know their strengths and weaknesses. You look at their weaknesses. After you look at their weaknesses and you know what you bring to the table, then you could say, I am the prize. And it could be a legitimate, honest, true answer. But if you say I am the prize when you meet me before you know me, then it's never going to go anywhere. But after a period of time, after you know my weaknesses, then you can say, I am the prize based on the man's weaknesses, what you bring to the relationship. So for a woman who's listening to this and going, so I got to go through life never saying I'm the prize, that's not what you have to earn. You have to, what they say, learning your man while you're earning your man. You have to earn your man before
Matt, who knew you was listening to that rap song? Hey, hold up. Ladies, that is a rap song. You always say I'm a dude, but I actually know that part. So Roz said, you're right, Galen. Karen, thank you so much for tuning in with us on Facebook. She said, I love this. Anissa says, Cedric's example is surprisingly profound. And Roz said, go get it, Cedric. This is the first time I agree with him. I'm telling you.
Hey,
so I just want to say, y'all didn't get it out the park. We can look. It's 8:24.
It's this Avengers energy, baby. That's all it is.
Y'all coming in hot and strong. The women are like, well, when you look at it like that, So we kind of touched on it. But the thing is, to you guys' point, there is an impact to the relationship when that term or statement is used in regards to a man's responsibility in a relationship. And when I talk to women, a lot of times they feel like, that term I'm the prize makes them the princess. So you're supposed to just do whatever I need or want you to do because you're supposed to be earning my love or attention. Do you guys feel that way? Am I confused about what you're thinking when a woman says that or her intent behind that?
Well, sometimes you got to get to the context behind the statement. Sometimes as children, and I've seen this with growing up and as an adult, with little girls that people consider are very, very attractive.
Yeah. They
let them get away with too much because she's cute. Okay, so daddy's letting you get away with it. Uncle's letting you get away with it. Granddaddy's letting you get away with it because you're cute. Now, it's the same thing happens on the boy side differently, but we're talking specifically from a male perspective right now, dealing with women. And so when you're used to everybody will acquiesce to me because I'm the princess, what ends up happening many times, and then you bump into someone who says, no, you know, whatever you get from me, you earn. Whatever you get from me is through our commitment to each other. You have to work, I have to work to make this work, versus I'm just showing up and I can say anything and I can do anything and I don't have to be responsible and I don't have to do all of that stuff. That's really saying that you're dealing with a child psychology in a grown woman.
Wow. Say that again, Galen.
And I don't want the ladies to not like me, so I'm not going to repeat it.
That's the truth.
Okay, so how do you guys think that you're dealing with the child psychology in a grown woman because that mental concept of her growing up in that space? How many of you feel that?
Well, everything Galen just said was like on point, because that type of person and situation is like a pitcher with a hole in it. No matter how much you pour in it, it will never get full. Too much will never be enough because they're empty somewhere inside. And so that person needs constant affirmation, constant attention, constant this. Am I got time for that? Yeah. That's too much. Once again, determining what it's worth. And that to most ain't worth the trip. No.
Okay, are you talking about, when you say the trip, Cedric, are you talking about the relationship?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So the question that Ross says is, do any of you have daughters? Do you guys tell your daughters that they're not the prize?
I do. I have a 23-year-old.
I know which ones have daughters. Everybody on the bottom row has daughters.
I raised my daughter as a princess, but realistically, though, nothing's ever going to be to
I've raised 3 nieces. Right.
Yeah.
I've raised 3 nieces who live with me, and yes, and I've always treated them like they were prizes because I didn't want anyone else, another man, to take advantage of them. So I always gave them. I was always there first, but I never treated them. I told them that they were never above anyone else. They never looked down on anyone else.
That's right.
That's the difference. You know, we treat our daughters, absolutely, we treat them like they are princesses, but we treat them to respect themselves and respect others, to not put themselves above others and walk into a room and say, I'm the prize and I'm better than everyone else and you need to recognize. No, that's it's a huge difference.
And to have realistic expectations, because I think part of the problem, especially in our culture, that there are a lot of women who feel that a man is supposed to do all these things for them initially upon entering any type of relationship from day one. The man is supposed to take you out and pay for everything. The man's supposed to do all of these things, but it's that old school mentality. Well, my parents and my grandparents did. Well, the world was different back then, and we're in 2020, 2022, right? So we have to be honest with ourselves, and women need to be honest with themselves, and not having a preconceived expectation that I'm going to automatically do whatever you ask me to do just because I'm the man and you're the woman, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the tougher conversation that needs to be had that a lot of women don't want to absorb and be real about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think as a child, you have to talk to your children, your daughters in particular. You know, my daughter has very good self-esteem, a very healthy self-image. But I discovered very early, you know, I'm her dad, so I obviously have a bias, but most people consider my daughter very pretty.
Jeez.
And so when I was realizing she was getting all of this praise as a child, I said, look, you are beautiful. And I don't want anybody to tell you you're not, but I want you to be more beautiful on the inside. Absolutely. And I would tell her that over and over again as a child. And teaching her again, you know, I had certain things, because you can teach somebody that they're prized a different kind of way. So the way I did it was, I told my daughter that I would never lie to her. I told her this when she was a toddler. I said, I would never lie to you. If I don't want to tell you something, I'll say, I don't want to tell you, or I'll tell you later. But if I tell you something, you can be guaranteed I understand it to be the truth. That's one. Two, I'll never put my hands on you. I never with my daughter. I said, I'll be a better parent. I said, but I don't want any man putting their hands on you and then telling you they love you, because I don't understand how that is any different from your father hitting you and then telling you that they love you. I don't want no man putting their hands on you. So those are just two examples. And there's many others. I don't want to just, take up the time. But you can have the conversation where you can help them build up their self-esteem, help them realize that they shouldn't be hanging around quote unquote scrubs and things of that nature without showing up as arrogance, as cockiness, as air above everyone else. So even though, my daughter is what the world would consider very physically attractive, she can engage with anybody from the 2-year-old to the 92-year-old, and everybody's happy to see her. I often joke with her, and Christine, you know this to be the truth.
Yes.
At the mega church that I work at, without a doubt, my daughter's like the most popular young person.
She is.
Because everybody loves her, because they have their own relationships with her.
Yeah, not because Galen's her dad.
Not
but
because I'm her dad. She has her own relationship. And that's what I wanted her to be developed. Yeah. When you walk in the room, speak to people. Know how to talk to people. Be tactful. Be respectful. Be understanding. Listen to people. See, human qualities work. Good human qualities work across the board. It doesn't make a difference who it is, male or female, old or young. When you teach people the right thing, the only thing they can do is do it. And if they don't do it, then you did your part as a father to make sure you put them out, you put them on the right road to succeed. That's all you can do.
Okay. Give me one quick second. I need to talk to the viewers real quick. Thank you, Pamela, for watching us. She's in California. Thank you so much for watching us tonight. We really appreciate your support. Ross says, exactly. Talk fathers teach their Talk fathers teach their daughters how real men should treat them. And I agree with that 100%. My dad did a great job with that. I grew up with 5 older brothers and my father. I was the prize, but they taught me what was accessible from a man and what was unacceptable. So, and that's the thing, is we need to look at this, from a couple different lenses. I'm going to agree with you guys, but I'm also going to disagree with you. And I'm going to disagree with you in this sense. What if you were a young lady who did not grow up with the father or with anyone telling her she was the prize or she was beautiful or anything, but she began to manifest that in her head. So now she's transformed herself as an adult. And now as an adult, what she didn't get as a child, she's looking for that confirmation as a woman. So she's presenting herself in her best form. And if she runs up against one of you and y'all say, well, you ain't the prize.
But it takes a village. It takes a village. That's an excuse that I'm not going to accept.
What's your question? Chris, what is your question? I'm not sure I understand your question.
My question is, what do you say to that woman? It's two different situations. She didn't grow up with a dad or uncle that raised her and cultivated her.
So, Christine, there are some men who want to fix women. There are some people who want to fix. Some women want to fix a man. There's somebody out there for everybody. So if that's her situation, she needs to find a man who wants to fix a woman. Many men have their own issues without trying to take on somebody else's. So
Matt, thank you for that. Thank you. I want people to understand, because of course, my gal pals and we all talk, but no person can make you feel whole. And that's something that Galen has consistently said. But a lot of women feel like I put all this, I done got liposuction, breast implants. I'm the queen of the crop.
Grown people, Chris, sisters, but being fair, brothers as well, but need to understand this concept. How will they speak your name when you're gone?
See, that's the thing, your name.
How will they speak your name when you're gone? Right. Here's Christine. She was the prize. That's all they're gonna say.
That.
It's not our job to fix somebody who's broken. Right. I mean, that's not our. That's not.
Say that is again, because women are under the impression that a man is supposed to help them become whole or fix them or make them. Women really truly believe that.
All right,
You
Chris,
got to come hold yourself. No, that's not my job.
that's
No,
it.
that's not my job. Let another brother do that.
Christine, they say tell the other man for them walks in the park, but you have to come whole yourself. You don't need a man to make you whole. You need to come to that relationship whole. You know, I'm going to go back to that daughter conversation. That is my goal as a father, is for my daughters to be whole people. And I have my own parenting style, and you know, you've seen it, but it places a lot of value on them. I don't think either of my girls would say that they're the prize, but if someone were outside looking at their value, they will say, I'm not necessarily the prize, but I can tell you I am very valuable to my dad. Believe that. And then someone will see my interaction with them, and they'll take a person about 10 minutes to go, no. They're walking away with value. So I want them to be whole. Now, not everyone has that situation, but you need to be whole before you go into relationships. Mental health in the community, a lot of men and women need mental health. A lot of women need some professional mental health before they get into a relationship, or they're going to mess it up.
And you know what? We get back from this commercial break. We get back from this commercial break. We're going to talk about the mental health I need y'all to have as men. We got a lot to talk about. We'll be right back, folks, after this commercial.
I gotta tell you something I could do. I could be running around chasing you, but I won't. Cause I got better things to do than spend my precious time chasing somebody who loves me too. If I got $1 for every time you slam the door, tell me your loss feels so blue, leaving me on the spot so confused. Oh baby, tasting so sweet, acting so rude. Won't you tell me what I'm supposed to do? Yeah. High and low, in between, acting out, make a scene. Working on our body language, working on our body language. Baby, now tell me exactly how you feel. I'm just trying to keep it real. Let me love you on the inside, love you on the inside. Tell me exactly what you mean. You mean everything to me. Let me love you on the inside, love you on the inside. Dance on the beat, I don't want no excuses. You keep me feeling so clueless. I'd like to dream, keep on dreaming about us, baby. Yeah. Now tell me exactly how you feel. I'm just trying to keep it real. Let me love you on the inside, love you on the inside. Tell me exactly what you mean. You mean everything to me.
You know, women are just trying to be loved on the inside. Let's catch the women on Tuesday. Real talk with the ladies. We're going to talk about dating and loving on the inside. No, we're not. So listen, before we get started, Ron said that men need mental health. Y'all need some mental health support over there. And then Pam, thank you so much for watching us on YouTube. We really appreciate the support again. She said, yes, Matt, no one wants a broken down person coming into a relationship. That's like buying a broken car. And so I'm going to keep it real with you. When you talk about right now with social media, the distancing, people not understanding how to reintroduce themselves to people. And again, women and men are coming out, not just women and men are coming out with their best. You hear me? What they think is their best, right? And then you go look at them and you disqualify them, right? And say, well, you're not for me. And I ask this because I talk to all of you all individually. So each of you have different stories of different women who have approached you. And in their mind, they're the prize, but they're not your type. It's not that you're not the prize, you're just not the prize from me. And I wanted you guys to talk to that because sometimes people take it personally. Again, because I talk to all of y'all individually. So I'm just going to sit back because I know the stories. I'm not going to tell them because it may hurt other viewers. it may hurt spouses, girlfriends, you know, we won't get into that. But anyways, what I'm saying is I need you guys to talk to that because I'm going to say for me, and I'm going to use myself to start up an example. When I'm out, I approach people and a lot of women don't. And I do approach people and I hung out with you guys and you guys know that's how I am. But it doesn't mean that the guy that I'm approaching is attracted to me. It doesn't mean that I'm not everything that I think I am. I'm just not his type. He may like brown skin, thin, and long hair. And then I'm light skinned with a little curvaceous on me, looking like something that came out of a movie. You know what I'm saying? Because I do hot with the coutures. Y'all know that. But he may be like, you know, that's too much fire. So he look at me and say, thank you. But you know, it was nice meeting you. And he walks away. My feelings shouldn't be hurt, should it?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Not at
But
all.
why shouldn't it be?
Because a no does not validate or invalidate you.
That's right.
A yes doesn't validate or invalidate you. That's giving power to somebody else's choice. See, what's amazing to me is when people want freedom of choice to like what they like, and they don't want to give that to someone else.
Right.
It's selfish behavior, right? So I think this all ties back to what I think Cedric started with. Is it's about the interpretation, right? So it's about taste and preference, right? So all of us can go into a high-end fashion location and pick out something completely different that we find to be perfect for us, but the other of us may not particularly like it. It's no difference when you're talking about men and women out. So what I view beautiful and attractive to me, Matt may differentiate on that, Cedric, Eric, and the Reverend as well, you know, because we all have our own particular taste and preference in this life, from the clothes we wear, the food we eat, the music we listen to, the wine or beer or liquor we consume, and the men or women we want to be around and interact with. So for people to be offended by a no, that is in my mind, that's a form of insecurity. Don't let someone else, like Galen said, have power over you by just telling you no. Move on to the next thing, right? So because you're not going to be everyone's type. This is not reality, right? So be confident in who you are. Just don't approach men saying you're the prize.
And also, that prize might be a beautiful friendship.
1,000%.
Or that prize might be a productive business relationship.
Absolutely.
Okay, so once again, I believe in things just creating organically, and it would define itself, as opposed to you going into it with preconceived notions, because it's not always going to work out that way. Let it evolve on its own. Now, you can have directions and intentions, but still be flexible enough to let it be what it's going to be on its own.
You know, Christine, one of the things that I think that is good when women have a healthy self-esteem is, and I think everybody should have healthy self-esteem, let me just be clear about that, is it does keep them clear of the Pookies of the world. No, that's real.
Yeah.
Because Pookie and, you know, Nene or whatever, you know, street name a person has, you know, you have to know that as a person, not because of just your outer appearance, but as a person, that you should not lower your standards to be around anybody, and especially date anyone.
Yes.
That is below your standards and values. Okay. And that doesn't mean that they are a low person. That means their behavior is below your standards and values. It's not devaluing a human being. It's just saying that I don't vibe with the way those people do things or how they treat women. So from that perspective, it's great, but you just don't walk in saying, okay, you know, roll out the red carpet. Princess Diana is walking in the building, and then expect everybody to just align with that belief. That's, you know, what I would say is know what you want, be clear about what you want, and live into your truth. without requiring anybody else to live into it. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you are making choices for your own well-being, anybody that doesn't need to be around you will be dismissed into their native nothingness.
I like when you said that. So one of our viewers, real quick, guys, a man's rejection is God's protection. And then Jacqueline, thank you so much for joining us tonight. She says, I love the conversation. Jacqueline, thank you so much for joining us tonight. First time viewer. So what do you think about Roz's comment?
Yeah, I would.
Man's rejection is God's protection.
Listen, it is any woman, any person, if you are rejected, to feel some kind of way. That's just who wants to be rejected. Now, if you look at a man's rejection as God's protection, that's an enlightened way of looking at it. You know, bravo to you. Most people are slightly offended and reality. And I want to talk to Galen's point. You know, there's a lot of people who are in situationships, and they have a criteria for dating that's pretty high, but their criteria for situationships is real low. Okay. And there's a whole group of men who feed off of situationships and people who are willing to be in situationships. So when women talk about being the prize, they have to be honest and say, okay, I have a type. There are certain men who are attracted to me. Stick to your tribe. If you know your tribe looks a certain way, stick to your tribe. Don't go try to find someone who's 6 feet, 6-pack, 6 figures. The normal men, what they call it, your not your Rolodex, but your Holodex. Your Holodex. They need to stick to those men.
Oh, I love it.
That's hilarious. Okay,
That's
so
real.
Cedric,
Matt with the home run.
That's it.
exactly.
He just did the Aaron Judge on his baby. That's it.
You know, okay, so Roz said bravo. Okay, so Cedric, I can see you're over there. You're getting ready to let Cedric. What's your thoughts? You good?
I'm good. I'm good. I mean, I can't expound any further on what the brother Avengers have said.
You know what?
100%.
I'm just gonna wait and get y'all some shirts made.
Well, Christine, I think what Matt was saying is so important.
Yeah.
And when you talk to younger people, not people in our age range, but
Right.
the teens, the 20s, the early 30s, it's a hookup culture.
Yes.
The problem comes into play is that anytime you share your body with someone, you also share your consciousness. In other words, there's an energy exchange. That's not just a physical exchange.
Oh yeah.
So therefore, there's a trade-off to the hookup culture. And one of the trade-offs besides the energy exchange is the lack of expectation that something can be real and special.
Mm-hmm.
See,
That's
okay,
important
so
because younger people are giving up hope. 10
Yes.
years ago, 15 years ago, I was officiating weddings all the time.
yes,
Young folks aren't getting married now.
they're not.
Because folks back then, Brother Galen, knew how to talk.
You got to
They're
communicate.
texting.
They know how to talk. Okay.
I'm going to share this with you guys. One of the concerns, and I'm speaking from a woman in her 50s, our biggest concern is that now we have men who are our age range from 50 to 65, who are now talking to those situationships, the younger women, and then you want to bring it to our age group as if we're okay with it. And then, of course, some of us are doing it, but this is the problem. We're doing it with the old school mentality, so we getting caught up because they doing situationships with these younger women and they bring it to our level, but you still on relationship and they on situationship. So now you thinking I'm the prize. This chick don't have no job. I got a 401k. I got this. I got a house, and they looking at you like, and what are you saying? I'm what's happening? I got this over here.
You better get jiggy with it. You better get jiggy with it.
Well, a part of it is that it's two things. And
Okay.
Previous, it's two things. It's about communicating your expectations in that situationship, right? What happens is it's going to start out as a situationship, but men are physical creatures, women are emotional creatures.
Yes.
So after that, as Galen said, that continuous energy exchange, women become a little more emotionally attached and men maybe not so much if we've already entered into it with the clear understanding mutually that this is just a situationship, but you're wanting more to evolve into a relationship. And then that's where the friction happens, right? So, and you guys just have to be honest and real with yourself. Like, women always think they can reel a man in and force him into something that they want him to be, or in a relationship that he doesn't want to be in. And then it ends up, spiraling out of control, and you're upset, you're frustrated, you're cussing them out to your girlfriends, putting them on blast on social media. Like it's a never ending cycle. But
hiding in their bushes,
right. But
jumping out.
If you already had the initial conversations and ongoing, this is just a fun time, a situationship, and we're just enjoying each other's company. So when you start gaining those additional feelings and being more emotionally attached, you need to express it versus assuming that you can get that man on the same level that you are emotionally.
And women, I hope you heard what RJ said, because I think a lot of times women go into it, like you said, him telling her this is a situationship, and she's like, I'm gonna be able to transfer this into a relationship. I'm going to make you love me because now my emotions are grown attached to you because of the physical connection that we've had with one another. And I think that happens more times than none. Now, one of the things I want to go back to, because women always ask me, how do I have so many male friends? Everybody asks me that all the time, other than the fact that, okay, I know I exude masculinity, and Eric stopped laughing at me. So the thing is, what someone said earlier, and I can't remember who it was, they said you identify, and it was you, Cedric, sometimes you're missing out on the fact that this could be a good friendship, a good business partnership, or whatever. And what I'm going to say to you ladies is that everybody always asks me, you're surrounded by all these attractive single men. Well, not in your case, Galen and Matt, you guys are not single, but men in general. And what I'm going to say to you is,
attractive part though.
But you're attractive. Everybody's attractive. The one thing that I will say to you is that all of you are all my friends. All of you I've either do business with, or you're like my family friend, like you my family. So I'm going to say to you ladies, I didn't approach any of these guys like I'm your prize. I just met them and liked them and liked something about them and thought I could be in their life in this capacity, right? I didn't choose to be the other thing. And it's so funny because it just expanded into that. So I'm going to say, ladies, and I always say, I go into everything with no expectation. I'm going to let it grow and see what happens. And I don't get emotional. There are several guys that I've actually dated who are now my friends because the dating part, we was hanging ace boon coons, but the dating part didn't work. So I said, well, let's cut the dating and let's just do this. And Eric laughing because Eric knows somebody I did that with. And he was like, well, how did you just I just turned off the light switch on the love part. The light switch went off. The light went out. It wasn't open no more. So ladies, we're going to go to commercial. We're going to be right back. But I'm going to tell you right now, what RJ just said is so important. As women, we've got to start looking at the situation for what it is. And if a man tells you, I'm not looking for anything, I just want a friendship. If a man says, I'm happily married, don't do it. Because a lot of times we ignore and we keep thinking we're the fix. We're the thing that you want. And all I got to say is, DTE, if you're watching, I still think I'm your fix. That's all. Look, as I act up and tell the ladies don't do it. We'll be right back after this commercial. I see your promo, I always feel like I'm getting ready to get on the couch and have a session. All the time, I just be ready. That's just, it's so laid back and smooth. Okay, so listen, Ross says there are men are only physical until about 50-ish. Then what? Then they're paying for hair and nails? LOL.
Well,
No,
Roz,
he's still
that
smashing.
was pre Viagra. These
Really?
old
He's still
guys
smashing.
getting it in. I'll just say I got some older male relatives. And if they're not getting it from the doctor, they're going down to Chinatown and getting the super herbs to do what they want to do. The days
Roz
of
is messing with
having
the
a
wrong
sugar daddy
one.
and you don't have to do anything is pretty much over.
Okay, so you know what? And Roz just cracks me up. I love Roz. When I tell you, Roz, I have so much fun. I laugh with Roz. I laugh with Sheila. They make me laugh. Precious makes me crack up on a regular. And just shout out to Precious. Precious is doing some amazing things out there. And I just absolutely love all my friends. You guys all really honestly bring something different to me that's encouraging. And one of the things I want to leave you ladies with, and I'm going to let you guys do your last comments to them as it relates to the prize, so women understand the importance of what you're saying and what you're not saying. So ladies, I'm going to say this to you as a woman who is direct. I'm very direct. And if I see someone I'm attracted to, I always go talk to them, but I never go talk to them with the intent of they're going to like me or want me or desire me. My thing is, I just want you to laugh with me. Just laugh. Now, of course, if I fill you up, you already know my intent. But if you don't feel that way towards me, then that's okay too. I still get a laugh. So to me, it's all about a person enjoying that experience, because when you see me again, you'll never forget me because I made you laugh. And that's a lasting moment that they'll always say, oh, that's Christine. I know her. That's the woman who, well, yeah, she felt me up. But I like her. She's got a great personality. So what I'm going to say to you is what Cedric said, is that at the end of the day, what are people saying or believing or thinking about you? At the end of the day, that's what that looks like. And let me say something else to all my ladies. You can never be rejected. Rejection is a conceptual idea or perception. The only thing that the man said to you was, you're not my type. He didn't reject you as a person. He just said, you're not my type. That's it. I'm not everybody's type. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I think I am the prize. Why? Because I'm Christine. That's just what I think anyways. And that's okay, right? So, all right, Eric, we're going to start with you. So, Eric, what do you want to say to these ladies? What you want to close out on as it relates to them being the prize, not being the prize, the man prizing it up? What you going to say to the women?
I think we're all the prize. Everybody's a prize. And it's okay to feel that you are the prize, right? But, you know, you don't have to state it. You don't have to state it because the prize is already recognized. You know, if he's into you or if she's into you, then they will make it be. They'll make it known, right? You don't have to state it. You know, perfect example. I was out. This was a while ago, some years ago, right? I'm in the bar, and I'm talking to this lady, and she was like, "You can buy me a drink." And I'm like, you know, if I wanted to buy you a drink, you don't have to tell me to buy you a drink. I'm going to do it just because.
Yes.
Just because. So because you asked me to buy you a drink, I'm not going to buy you one.
Yes.
You don't have to tell me. So, you know, if you are the prize, you know, we'll know. We'll know. We're smart. And if we don't know, then move on because he doesn't recognize. He doesn't recognize. So
I love that. You said you just need to recognize. He'll send you a drink. You don't have to ask for it.
He'll send you. He'll know.
All right, guys. You guys heard that from Eric. So Matt, what's your thoughts? Because Matt, you're the matchmaker to the millionaires. I got a lot of women who want to be matchmade.
Christine, thank you. This you know, I talk to hundreds of women around the country. I've heard this many times. My advice, my thoughts are, live your life like you are the prize. Make sure all the areas of your life are there. Make sure you're whole. If you come to any situation whole and valuable, you don't got to tell nobody you're the prize, but be honest. So many women are telling people publicly that they are the prize and secretly living lives that don't show them to be prize worthy, and you can pick up on their energy. So I would tell them, listen, get rid of all your situationships, come home to whoever you're trying to talk to. And last but not least, know your tribe. Ask men what type of, find out who likes you.
Right.
There's somebody for everybody. I don't care, tall, short, thin, thick, somebody for a whole tribe of people who like you. And then the last thing I'll leave you is this. No one in history has had a tool like the internet. If you want to know if you are the prize for that man, go to his social media, look at the women that he interacts with, look at the comments, look who he's hearting. If he's hearting women that look like you, then hey, maybe you are the prize to him. But if he's hearting women that don't look like you, that don't act like you, move on.
You know what, Matt? I like that. All right. So, RJ, all I got to say is, I'm going to let you talk because we hang out and you make me laugh. So I'm going to just.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. I'll say that there's absolutely nothing wrong with believing, moving, and living and walking like you're the prize. Confidence is a great thing. It doesn't have to be stated. And so what I would say is for the women who feel that they're the prize and walk in that confidence and exude great energy, you see a man that is your type or a man that you have interest in, don't be afraid to approach him. But be focused on building an organic relationship that will be fruitful and beneficial for your life in whatever capacity that may be, because that's more important than anything. And so that's really all I have to say about it.
Thank you. I like it. Okay, Cedric, what's up? What you saying to the ladies?
I would say that a true prize embodies that. It doesn't state that. And I don't mean like stating like, I'm a prize. Stating is like, I'm a this, I'm a CEO, I'm a boss, whatever. Okay. The true prize is that embodiment of it, like that diamond in the rough. Okay. It's rough and brushed all around them, but that diamond still shines to the point that it glitters and catches the eye of somebody. That wasn't stated. That diamond exudes that. So be that. That's the true prize. When you exude what you are, you ain't got to say nothing. It's going to draw everything to them.
I like that. Very nice. Well, Galen, I was going to end with you because everybody takes you as the voice of conscience.
Wait a minute. What about Eric?
We did do Eric. Eric was the first one.
It was so good that I was sitting down I was writing down what the guys were saying. I'm a note taker, so I got lost in my listening. Okay, so a couple of things. First, be the prize to yourself. As I stated on my show last week, I meet no one but me. Okay, I believe that you're always your own experience. So be the prize for yourself. We expect people to treat us higher and better than we treat ourselves. You show your value by how you treat yourself, what you allow in your life, how you allow people to speak to you, et cetera, and by the choices you make. As you know, I've been saying this on my show, a quote from Gary Zukav. I take responsibility for the choices I make and the consequences they create. That's the first thing. Second thing, I would recommend that ladies and guys, but ladies in particular, because it's the context, go look up this old book. It was called "He's Just Not That Into You."
Oh my God, yes.
because whatever the perception, you could be Holly Berry and somebody doesn't want you. So it's not based upon the outer look only. If we think that's the judge, then we're misinformed. Live with high expectations. Again, as all the guys have said, it's great to have high expectation, but I believe that you can have great confidence without arrogance. I usually will say that I'm not conceited. I'm just convinced. And that just means that I'm convinced that I have value, that I'm convinced that I will not allow myself to experience certain type of things relationally, financially, or any career or any other kind of way. So that's the main thing. And to the young ladies, if there are any young ladies out there listening, I would say, stop paying attention to this hot girl summer WAP and Boss B and all this other stuff, because that stuff is empty. It's empty calories. When it's all said and done, it's empty calories. When you show up as the authentic, true you, that's what guys will tune into. And when you allow that part to come forth, that's vulnerability. Now, here's the thing that's a secret about vulnerability that a lot of people don't like to talk about. Men have an instinctive need to protect. When there's vulnerability, when there's a I need you, when there's a I want your support, men kick in strongly. But when when the energy is a different kind of way, then the guy's gonna show up a different kind of way. And the last thing that I would just say is one thing is when you show up in a relationship, show up with your curiosity. And the curiosity is this: how can I bring what I bring to the table and match it with what he brings to the table and create something new and wonderful? That's the curiosity. See, as children, we had curiosity. We wonder, if I do this, what will happen? If I do that, what will happen? And then we allow life to strip us of our curiosity as we get older. So rediscover the curious part of your soul. And the last thing I can just say to the guys is Avengers Assemble.
I want to say, as always, I have a great time every Thursday. I hope you guys something out of this podcast. It's so important we take different perspectives. You guys know that we have Real Talk with the ladies on Tuesday. We have Galen on Wednesday. And we have Shop Talk with Rodney on Mondays. And I'm going to say, please be sure to join us. We have new shows and new lineups happening Monday through Friday. And we always appreciate your support here at the 5S to Love Network. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.